Hey everyone, this is Ryder from Skip. Important video on the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, which goes live on Monday, May 3rd. In this video, I'm going to answer who's eligible, how much you are potentially eligible for, what the SBA is advising you do before Monday, May 3rd, and most importantly, how the portal looks step by step, what you need to know and prepare for and expect as you fill out your application and submit it on Monday to maximize your chances of getting this funding. There's $28.6 billion for this program. We've watched a few webinars about this now. There's a lot of information, so we're going to simplify it here, save you some time. Even if you don't think you're eligible, it's worth watching at least the first few minutes of this video where I talk about what types of businesses are eligible. For everyone else, be sure to watch until the end. Please subscribe and support our channel. And most importantly, like this video so more people see it and get the help they need. $28.6 billion allocated to restaurants across the country to help you. You've been waiting for help for over a year now. Now's the chance. Consider sharing this with other restaurants or food and drink businesses. Okay, a big shout out to the SBA for getting this going, and I am impressed with their preparation for this. One of the webinars today, again, it was about an hour long. It was led by Patrick Kelly, who's in charge of the Capital Projects Division at the SBA, over $1 trillion under management. So he is the guy, and he kept saying, be prepared, be ready for, quote, game day on Monday. Monday's game day. He kept reemphasizing, be ready in the first hour to apply, and that, quote, this is an open book test, so be prepared. Ask your smart friends, watch YouTubers like myself go through things. Make sure you feel comfortable with all the information you have, and you have it all lined up, ready to go on Monday. So Patrick Kelly emphasized that a lot. He used a lot of metaphors, but I'm going to add a few metaphors. Lace up those cleats, get ready to get in the game. Again, Patrick Kelly, Associate Administrator of Capital Access, basically in charge of Capital Access. And the other person on the call was Ben Wallace. He is a partner at Summit Technology, which is the vendor that put together the portal. And in a very thoughtful presentation, he went over everything they've thought about to answer your questions. So I'm going to repeat what they've said. That's a big operation to put together the software they did. Let's see how it goes. But based on what I heard today, it sounds like the pilot went well and they are ready for prime time. Okay, who's eligible? Restaurants, food stands, food trucks, food carts, caterers, bars, saloons, lounges, taverns, snack and non-alcoholic beverage bars, coffee shops, etc., ice cream shops, bakeries, brew pubs, tasting rooms, tap rooms, breweries and microbreweries, wineries and distilleries, inns, licensed facilities or premises of a beverage alcohol producer, or other similar places of business. Okay, food or drink, if that's a big part of your business, probably you are eligible. Take a look at this. One thing to note, these last several things here, you need to have in your 2019 revenue, at least 33% of your gross receipts need to come from on-site sales. That's not the case for 2020 since many businesses completely shifted to online in 2020. But for 2019, they want to make sure that you had on-site sales, at least 33% of gross receipts. So take a look at that. By the way, on the SBA website, they have all of this very succinctly put out there. Who can apply, how to apply, when to apply, set-asides. They've set aside buckets of funding for certain smaller restaurants, and payment calculations if you want to figure out how much you can get. So that's all on the website, and it's much clearer than the slides, but I'm going to talk about the slides as well. Link to this in the description, and we've put this on a blog post on the Skip app. It's Hello Skip in the App Store and Google Play, and it's free. What are the eligible uses of funds? Business expenses, it's pretty broad here. Payroll costs, utility, maintenance, supplies, food and beverage expenses, covered supplier costs. Business operating expenses includes insurance, marketing fees, legal, point of sale equipment. Construction expenses, if you need to do outdoor seating, you can use it for outdoor seating. You cannot use it for expansion costs. If you want to open up a second location, you can't use this funds for that. However, business debt, you can. Let me switch sides here. Business debt, you can. Payment on any business mortgage obligation. And if you took, for example, EIDL loans, you can do business debt service, principal, and interest. You cannot prepay, but you can make payments with this funds. For example, if many of you have EIDL loans, you can use it for that. So there's a few calculations. Actually, I'm going to go back to the website here because it's a bit clearer. Calculation 1, which is the most common if you were in operation prior to January 2019. 2019 gross receipts minus 2020 gross receipts minus PPP loan amounts. Let's say your gross receipts in 2019 were $2 million and in 2020 they were $1 million. That's $1 million difference. And let's say you got a $250,000 PPP loan amount. Again, this is completely hypothetical, but basically from 2019 to 2020, your gross receipts decline was $1 million minus $250K, which is the PPP loan amount. Let's say you got two draws, actually, two $250K loans for two PPPs. That means you're eligible for $500,000 in that hypothetical scenario. So the math's not too complicated. There's other calculations if you were partially operational in 2019 or if you were only operational in 2020. Those are calculations 2 and 3. And gross receipts does not include PPP funding, EIDL advances, state and local grants via CARES Act or otherwise, or SBA Section 1112 payments. Okay, this is the timeline. There was a pilot period where participants were randomly selected from existing PPP borrowers who said that they were in a restaurant category group. Then the priority period, days 1 through 21, starts on May 3rd. There are 3 weeks of priority period. And then day 22, all eligible applications will be reviewed until funds are exhausted. Now, this is very important who gets this first 3 weeks because you know there's going to be an onslaught of applications these first 3 weeks. So it's 3 priority groups. Ownership has to be 51% or more of these groups. Women-owned, veteran-owned, or socially and economically disadvantaged groups. You need to self-certify this. Now on the SBA website, it goes into more detail about what a socially disadvantaged individual is, those who've been subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice or cultural bias because of their identity as a member of a group without regard to their individual qualities. And economically disadvantaged individuals are those socially disadvantaged individuals whose ability to compete in the free enterprise system has been impaired due to diminished capital and credit opportunities as compared to others in the same business area who are not socially disadvantaged. So those are the definitions. They're still very broad. So take a look at these if you have questions because you will be among the first to have your applications reviewed. I do believe that there will be plenty of funding here, but again, obviously it's better to get in line earlier. So if you do fall into these categories, it's going to be better for you. What documents do you need? You need the SBA Form 3172. I'm going to show you that on the online portal in a second. Signed. IRS Form 4506T. I'll also show you that on the platform, and gross receipt documentation such as 2019, 2020 taxes, etc. Now, before I show you the portal, one of the emphasis Patrick Kelly and Ben Wallace said was this: if you have questions, call. There are folks on the phones 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, and they're ready to help. And that's why they want you to register for the website starting this Friday. The website looks like this. You'll click this blue register start your application. This is at restaurants.sba.gov starting on Friday, April 30th. You can't do it yet, but Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, they will go live. And they encourage you to go there and set up. If you have questions, you can call over the weekend. 3 reasons to register early. Number 1, this is a new account. If you have an EIDL loan account, that's a different account. Even though some of the systems talk to each other, you will have to create a new account. So it's better to do this sooner, get it done on Friday, because then the SBA will have a signal of interest. They'll be able to prepare on Monday how many people they need to get on support on the phones to help you in the case of any issues. And number 3, it sends a message to Washington, D.C., our legislators, that this is an important part of the relief package, helping tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. It's unclear how many will be able to be helped, but helping as many businesses as possible that fall in the broad restaurant, food, and drink category. Okay, now we're going to jump into the portal, the step-by-step, what it asks for specifically for you to input. So you can click this button here that says Sign and Submit Application. There's a lot going on here and a few tips that were given today by Ben Wallace, so I'm going to point those out. Everything I just talked about and more is on the SBA website, a link right below in the description, and a link to our post on this, which shows important screenshots. But just to recap, who can apply, how to apply, when to apply, set-asides, funding amount, how to calculate it yourself, all link in the description. Okay, important note, if you use Toast or Square for your point of sale for your restaurant business, you do not need to create an account on the SBA website. You will use Toast and Square. They have their own interfaces to go through this flow and apply. So keep that in mind. For everyone else, you'll need to create an account on the SBA website starting Friday, and you will need to have a US cell phone because there's 2-factor authentication where you'll get a text message. You'll need to put in a token here to verify your phone number. Then once you verify your phone number, you get to the dashboard. Here is the overview of what you'll see. Estimated time, 20 to 25 minutes. Let me zoom in here. You need to have your business information, including owners and their tax identification information. It is highly recommended that the business owner, one of the business owners that can sign for this, fills out the application, because at the end, they have questions specific to the business owner, such as where you lived 6 years ago, which address do you recognize, which of these people is your brother or family member. So they have those questions similar to when you apply for other credit. So make sure the business owner is filling this out or on standby so there are no delays. 2019, 2020 tax return information, relevant PPP loan information, bank account information, and bank account online credentials. 2 points here I want to make. PPP loans, they will pull in automatically, but you should have it anyway just to verify that they have the correct information. Second, they use Plaid to integrate bank accounts. This will prevent manual mistakes, putting in the wrong routing or account number. So make sure you know your online banking information. There is a manual option, but they prefer you use Plaid. But if you can't use Plaid, they don't have your bank, you can use the manual bank information. Okay, you'd go over here, you'd click Start New Application. Apparently you can take a guided tour if you want. I'm giving you the guided tour right now. There's about 5 main sections. First is eligibility. Second, business details. Third, award calculation. Fourth, deposit account, which banks are going to go to. Fifth, supporting documents. Sixth, authorized owner needs to review and sign everything, okay? So this first one has the typical eligibility questions for getting state funding. Then you need to put in business details. Okay, and this is where you put in if you are in a priority group. And important note is your priority election and associated ownership disclosure will be made public by the SBA. This will be public information. As of the date of this application, applicant is a small business concern, at least 51% owned and controlled by one of these groups. Click if they apply. Are you a franchise? They have a franchise directory. So if you are a franchise, you probably can find yours here. Have you filed for bankruptcy? Then what type of restaurant are you and what type of business are you? They've done a good job here to make it conditional. So if you put in sole prop, you will only be able to put in your SSN. If you put in C Corp or LLC, you'll put in your EIN number. And business address, they have a lookup with USPS. So it should pull in your address automatically once you start typing in. However, in the case where they don't have your address, you can manually override and put in your own address. All of this, a lot of things they've done are to prevent mistakes, to prevent user error, so you as a business owner can get the funding quicker instead of having back and forth if mistakes are made. So they've done a good job here. Okay, then you do the award calculation, purpose of the award, what you're going to use it for. Section 2, PPP loans, like I said, they will pull in your PPP information because it's the SBA system. The SBA will have a record of any PPP loan that you may have, either first draw or second draw. Or if you have an additional PPP loan that's not tied to the EIN or the SSN you put in, you can put in here as well, okay? Those are going to be deducted from the grant amount. And then you need to calculate your award. Again, there's a few different calculations, Table 1, Table 2, Table 3, Table 4. You'll do that right here. You should have an idea of how you're going to calculate it ahead of time, so it's quick when you do it here. For example, if you choose Table 1, you'll put in your 2019 gross receipts, your 2020 gross receipts, and it will subtract any PPP amount, and it will calculate your award amount. In this case, in this example, $24,995. Then the fourth step is linking your bank account with Plaid. A modal will pop up like this, and you'll have to enter your online banking credentials. So maybe test it out ahead of time. Make sure you have the right password in your mind so you don't get stuck in a password reset flow. If you do, or you have to manually enter, you can put in your information manually. But again, they de-emphasize this because linking with Plaid will help prevent mistakes, prevent user error, and it will also verify account owner information. Okay, then is the supporting documents. Everything you've collected, you need to put in here. That includes your 2019 tax return, any one of the following documents, 2020 taxes, or point of sale reports, or externally or internally prepared financial statements, such as the P&L, signed, dated, and certified by the applicant, 3 months of bank statements. Then you have to certify that the supporting documentation is true and accurate. Then you can upload the documents, and you should label the files correctly as well. Here was a tip they gave today. All of the documents are being manually reviewed, okay? So the clearer you can make it for a loan officer to understand what they're looking at, the better. This is not a case where you need to give them the kitchen sink. This is not like an accountant where you give them a box of receipts for them to parse through. The simpler you can make it for them to read and understand what document they're looking at, the faster they should be able to understand your application and make a decision. Okay, the last step is authorized owner. You need to give your personal details, and they will do some identity verification, apparently. And the final step is the summary. Any missing items here you will have to review. As Ben Wallace mentioned as part of his webinar, it's worth reviewing these just to double check. Make sure you've got everything in order. Make sure the uploads are correct. And at the bottom, you can review your reward request. Okay, so nice interface here. You'll see your total amount. Hopefully that button, Sign and Submit Application, will be blue and you'll be able to click it. You have this last minute chance to withdraw. For some reason, you don't want to submit. Hey, they put it there. I'm not sure why, but then the other piece on the summary screen will be the funds destination. Just double check that it looks like your business bank account, bank name, account, and routing. And finally, the other good piece of advice they said was any messages that they send you will both go to your portal and to your email. Okay, so you don't need to worry about checking your portal every day, or some of you may want to check more, but you don't need to do that because any action you need to do, such as a decision or a need for more information, they will email you as well. And probably you'll be able to log in and reply on the secure portal. Okay, that's the overview. Thanks so much for watching until the end. I know there's a lot there, but we are so happy that this has finally come. This $28.6 billion is finally going to start going out to help hundreds of thousands of you. Please share with a friend, share with a fellow business owner. Just to recap, we went over eligibility, timing, when to apply, etc. Link right in the description. Hit subscribe and turn on the alerts because if more information comes out, especially about the RRF, but also other SBA programs, we will continue to cover. We've been covering these programs for over 12 months now. Since March 2020, we've been covering every move the SBA has made to help as many folks as possible. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good luck on the application. Stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you later.